in Delaware today. He'll attend the dignified transfer of 3 U.S. service members killed by a drone strike in Jordan last week. NPR's Windsor Johnston reports an Iranian-backed group is claiming responsibility for the deadly attack on the Army reservists.
The White House says it's working to identify which Iranian-backed rebel group is responsible for the drone strike and is carefully weighing next steps. Earlier this week, President Biden said that he's decided how to respond but didn't offer any specifics. Sergeants William Rivers, Kennedy Saunders, and Breonna Moffett all served in the Army Reserve and were assigned to Georgia's Fort Moore. In a statement, Biden extended his condolences to their families, calling them patriots in the highest sense. Windsor Johnston, NPR News, Washington.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the Senate is on track to vote on a bill that includes aid to Ukraine and Israel and for U.S. border security measures. But hardline House Republicans say they oppose it. Even if the measure passes the Senate, House Speaker Mike Johnson might not even bring the bill up for debate. The Federal Aviation Administration says 3 people were killed last night in Clearwater, Florida, when a small plane crashed into a mobile home park. The pilot died and 2 people in a mobile home were killed. Rick Renner lives in the neighborhood and heard the accident.
We heard a loud noise, which we thought was like a motorcycle going by. And then a few seconds later, there was a big boom. Shook the house, shook the windows.
Officials in Clearwater say the pilot had radioed the airport before the crash, saying that he was in trouble. The courts in Pennsylvania must ensure that people recovering from opioid addiction have access to treatment while on parole or probation. This, according to a federal settlement. NPR's Kristen Wright reports the Justice Department claimed the state's court system violated the Americans with Disabilities Act.
6 people who are in recovery say while under supervised release, the court said they had to stop taking prescribed medications to treat opioid use disorder or go to jail. Legal Action Center attorney Sally Friedman says her client dealt with painful withdrawal symptoms. She says it's common practice in the courts.
We expect that other courts around the country will also take note and become more proactive about eradicating these policies and educating the people who work in the courts that the best way to help people in their recovery is to stay out of the medical decision-making.
In a statement, the Pennsylvania courts say they admit no liability and they're a leader in offering effective treatment. The courts will pay the complainants a total of $100,000. Kristen Wright, NPR News.
On Wall Street, stocks are mixed. The Dow Jones Industrials are down 44 points. The Nasdaq is up 150. It's NPR. The Labor Department's latest report on jobs in January finds that the U.S. economy added 353,000 jobs last month. The U.S. unemployment rate remained at 3.7%. The chairs of the Senate Banking and Veterans Affairs Committees have introduced a bill to help thousands of veterans at risk of losing their homes. As NPR's Chris Arnold reports, the move follows an investigation by NPR.
In 2022, the VA abruptly ended a pandemic-era relief program for homeowners. As we reported last year, that stranded thousands of veterans who were in the middle of the program, leaving them facing foreclosure through no fault of their own. A group of senators called on the VA to stop the foreclosures, and it did for 6 months. Now, this bill aims to help those vets get current on their mortgages again. Senator John Tester chairs the